Hello everyone. I'm just letting you know that I'm just calling to say hello and the there's a word that's very loosely used in our world and has been for many years, probably for centuries, and it's the word mental. Um, I have a lot of respect for that word, and I never thought that that would be a word that would be, um, I guess you can say, in a healthy aspect. I'm originally from the east of Canada, and like I said, the word mental is very loosely used and very abused. And it's very, if you don't know your mental state, then it can be very costly. I'm from the east of Canada. I'm from Toronto, Ontario, and I came out to the west, not too long ago, uh, 2006. So um, I guess you can say that. The reason I'm sharing this circumstance with you is because I'm 53 years old, and something that happened to me so young, um, is something I've lived with for now over 50 years, by the way. But something that happened to me so young, I never dreamt in a million years, or thought, or even felt, or even presented it, or even hit it, or however. But the point is, I never thought that I would be called on, and called mental and trying to be tasered. I never thought that I would be called on, here in the West, when I was brought privately into their medical world here, and for the first time. I didn't know no one, and no one knew me, in regards to the health aspects part. And when I didn't speak up, or well, and I didn't speak up, I was like, I'm limited. I actually have funny little talking factors happening. But when I didn't speak up, or well, I was shocked. I was actually blown away that six doctors that didn't know me, because I had been brought in by a car accident from a company. I was actually a passenger in it, and the car had gotten smashed on the right side, and I was in it. And I was brought in, and I was only a week and a half with the company. So when I was brought in into the privacy by an ambulance into this hospital here in the West, and they uh, they kept yelling at me for 5 hours, speak up. And I looked at them and I thought, well, I'll tell them why. I thought, I'm not from the West, and they don't know me, they don't know my background, and it's not a big factor. But then maybe they'll stop yelling at me, or freaking out, or calling me mental, wanting to tase me. But when I looked at them and I said to them, I don't speak up well. I'm a survivor of internal damage called chickenpox scarred my lungs at the age of 3. I actually, in the 60s, but youngest of 5, I actually survived, chickenpox going inside me on my lungs and organs. And I guess you can say, by being smashed by 2 cars is not exactly my time to speak up, or well, or the fact that I'm limited. So when I did share that truth in the West here in 2009, that May Day, being called mental and threatening to taser, I still didn't think anything of that. But when I couldn't lift my coffee cup by the fall of 2009, it was kind of embarrassing to try to, go get the help. But yet every time I did, I couldn't speak up right or proper. That's how they carried on. They kept saying she's mental. Don't let her into the walk-ins. Just tell her she's nuts. She was never in the, just the denial of the whole thing freaked me out. And it turned out that, like I said, I couldn't lift a coffee cup. But it also turned out that my childhood hospital, Toronto Children's Hospital, actually legally spun across the paperwork 43 years later out here to the West, because they were just, they said to them, look, we labeled her in the 60s, and no, we're not changing her label, so it's not a big deal that she can't speak up, or well, please just fix her right arm. And so it was actually a shock. It's taken me 3 years to get past it. It's also costed me thousands of dollars here in the West, just to prove that I wasn't mental, and spare my reputation, either for jobs, or even the fact that my honey that I met, here in 2006, mind you, when I did come out privately and quietly, um, he actually asked me to marry him on February 14th, 2009, just a few months before this car accident. And you know, this actually created a huge dent. I have a lot of respect for doctors, and being called mental and trying to be tasered, it just did not fit, and it just did not suit this well. And it was, to be honest with you, it was probably harder than me overcoming internal chickenpox to my lungs and organs. I do get internal bleeding from massive internal stress, which I've always learned to be careful and limit myself, including limit talking. So it was incredible, and it's almost destroyed my reputation. Um, it's almost destroyed me. But the one thing I learned, and I actually am so proud to speak up for mental awareness and health, the one thing I actually discovered and learned is that I had to speak up for my mind and for my mentality. I had to take responsibility. I had to take stand to it, and I had to let these doctors know that they will not do this to anyone else in the future, because it is just too loosely used. It is too loosely to give a drug which would cause me internal bleeding for life. And to think that my honey's doctor prior went ahead and had an assumption of a thought of a word that he thought he put on my paperwork because he just thought it, and so he wrote the word bipolar. If that doctor really respected me or my honey, Rocco, then he would have brought me in quietly, and he would have shared some thoughts of his, and we could have went for testing. But just this April 2012, I told the psychiatrist off and the 6 doctors that tried to destroy my life. I'm now hoping to heal my relationship and my honey to marry him, because he's the greatest thing I ever found. And if I had to come all the way across to the west, get called mental, threaten to be tasered, and lose all aspects of humanity, I'm going to say one thing: it was worth saving my mind and having the support from Toronto Sick Kids 43 years later with my legal paperwork, where I do run out of air to talk. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. Bless you. Happy minds and happy mental factors. If you need help, go talk to someone. And that's what's wrong with our world right now, is there's too much talk, there's too much happening, and that's why we're not able to pan out the mental factors. Be simple, be clean, be true, be real, be like me. Just be yourself. It may not be what someone else wants, but this is what I am. And to think that Rocco fell in love with me for who I am, I'm blessed. So I hope it does go all the way, and I do hope that my site becomes big. http://muffins, muffins, the number 4, munchkins, munchkins, .webstarts, webstarts.com. Please visit me. Take care, everyone. Happy thoughts and happy feelings.